bought some health-based stuff just the last week or two, some baking sheets, an indoor herb grower thing, and a fermentation kit. And okay, are these things that go together in one project, or just all loosely related to the concept of health and eating? Also, hi. I am painting healthy food, meanwhile, or at least the Canadian government's recommendations on healthy food. Meanwhile, I have fed my dog the most absurd treat. So there's a common thing, which is filling Kong toys with peanut butter and freezing them. Or not freezing them, but freezing them makes them last longer. So if you fill a Kong toy with peanut butter, you can keep a dog busy for quite some time. But see, I've found an improvement on that where I have a toy that's kind of like a Kong, but it's a pine cone shape. So it's got all these ridges on the outside from so on the outside it looks like a pine cone, on the inside it's basically a Kong. And I got Amber one of these, and so I slathered the outside ridges with peanut butter and goat cheese and applesauce in thirds, and it was briefly it's not completely frozen, but it was briefly in the freezer, and then I filled the inside with her kibble and sealed it with peanut butter. I think there's some extra solid treats in there as well. So this thing is crazy and should keep her busy licking it for quite some time. It's also probably quite fatty and not great for her with the amount of cheese and peanut butter on it. So I might have to pay for that later in doggy diarrhea, but she is busily munching away while I work on this. So I've been working on this piece for quite a while. I just keep picking away at it. Sure would be nice to finish this sometime soon. What I meant to do like 9-10 months ago, but last year was kind of a mess for me. So better late than never, right? Let's try to get this a little bit closer. What is this? Barley, I think. Yeah, I think it's barley groats. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. I haven't decided what my last one is. Like I might try to do some like wheat berries or rye or something in here. This one's gonna be buckwheat. This one's gonna be red quinoa. This is obviously pasta, probably wheat-based, and wild rice. So I'm trying to focus only on grains that grow in Canada. And I know the Canada Food Guide was also trying to do similar things, but they included rice, which is really borderline. Like only the most extreme climates in Canada can grow the most extreme varieties of rice, and there's only one company even trying to do so, and their production is not profitable. So only one farm growing rice in Canada, and their production, as far as I understand, is not yet profitable. So I don't know that that's really something that I'm gonna include in my version, even though I very much enjoy eating rice, but I kind of wanted to focus on like just the variety of things that do grow well in Canada. Some of my favorites. I mean, obviously I did also include salmon and beef and whatever that I don't eat. So not being super strict about that, but and then the other thing that's occurred to me is I'm painting wild rice here. But wild rice, if you've only ever had it in mixes with other rice, it takes a lot longer to cook to where it's like, you know, soft. So often you'll just see these little black needles mixed with other rice. But if it's properly cooked, like all the way through, it does, like it splits open. And so I hope that this is still recognizable to most people as what it is. It's wild rice. Painting now. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, and these are going to be tomatoes. I'm going to do a few more in here. And then see whether I want to just extend the peas, which take forever. Oh my god, the peas take forever to paint. Or do something else there. Yeah, so in Canada, there's it's a different grain. It's not related to rice. But likewise, it's a reed that grows in in water, Canadian wild rice, and it's like a black rice, but it's like very long and thin needles. It's not related, like it's a different plant. And it's often put into rice mixes here. Like I don't know if it shows up elsewhere in the world as much, but here you'll often get like a brown and wild rice mix, where it's mostly brown. It's mostly brown rice, but then you'll have just like a few little, like you'll have it's more like a garnish, like so you'll only taste a few of them. And the way it's usually cooked, if it's in a mix like that, you'll cook it and the wild rice will still be in like these little needle forms. And I think really for most people that's how they've had wild rice. Like, yes, it exists more widely. You can just get it on its own, but I don't think that many people have had it prepared as a primary grain. I mean, I could be wrong. Um, I know that my family tried sometimes to just make wild rice, but because it's more expensive than rice too, and I think a lot of people don't know how to prepare it other than like just making it a garnish, so think that it's always hard. But if you cook it a lot longer, then it splits open and sort of curls up. It is also on the original Canada Food Guide photo, so you can find what it looks like. But yeah. We also get wild rice over here. Oh, okay, cool, nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. Like, cause there's things that like it's really common to see it here, but only in mixes. And so I assume that it might get exported too. Like most of it is grown here, or I think in the far northern U.S. But Canada's the primary producer, and there's a lot of things like that where it's like, okay, well, I mean, it exists elsewhere, but isn't very common. So I wasn't sure how widespread it was, even in mixes and stuff. There's some foods that get widespread and others that don't, and it's hard to tell. So if anyone's wondering, the reason why I am doing this edging all in pieces like this is because I know that if I try to do it all at once, I mess it up, and I am going to throw my hand into a wet spot. So I am trying to run over the edge of the plate one little bit at a time, and it's also giving me time to adjust to it as it dries and see, like, spend some time with it and see where it needs to get darker. But I don't know how visible it is, I have a non-photo blue pencil line for my plate, and I'm just going over it with a thin bead of watercolor on both sides, and then on the inside I'm also doing a second, like a shadow line with a thicker brush and a little bit. Black rice is rice. Yes, black rice is rice. You can get black rice, you can get red rice, but wild rice is not rice. Yeah, black rice and red rice are like brown rice. They've got the germ on them. No, they've got the hull on them. But it's just a different color of hull. It's kind of like you have like red skin potatoes. It's like red skin rice. There's also gold rice that has, I think, higher beta carotene in it. And yes, I am also the sort of person who goes to the health food store or the whatever specialty food stores and just buys things that look interesting. Just to try. Remember red rice being really puny, like short, you mean? Like, yeah. Yes, I think black rice as well is often like it's a very short grain, small rice. But again, it's just different varieties, right? Like you can get different varieties of potatoes. You can get different varieties of wheat. You can get different varieties of anything. Not the one I had was the size of arboreal rice. There are also several varieties of black and red rice. Oh, okay. Arboreal rice is also like that's isn't that one of the varieties that's used? Isn't that still a short grain? Like isn't it used for what was it? Risotto. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yes. So it's like it's a short grain. Yes, risotto. Exactly. So the short grain rices tend to be more glutinous. They tend to like be softer. Black japonica, very nutty and chewy. Yes, I do like that. A lot of the Lundberg rices are really nice. Yeah, I wonder with some of them whether it's also like a matter of cooking time, where some of them do need longer cooking time than you might expect from like a plain white or even a brown rice to get like nice and soft. For a while, the bulk store, Bulk Barn here, carried, I don't know if they still have it, I haven't been in such a long while, but they carried this mix that had a bunch of different grains, but among them they had this green bamboo rice. I think it was just infused. Like I think it was an arborio or something that was infused. But it made this, oh man, it was so good. I'd make it with coconut milk and different veggies, and like I'd make like a curry. I prefer to use cannaroli rice. Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I've heard of that one. Yeah. I think that I don't know. I don't know if this is just my house or Canada, but I feel like long grain rice is more common here. So maybe it's just like a comparison point as well, where Stephen saying like that red rice is puny, like that maybe just most of the red rice varieties are like they're a short grain, so they're more likely to be like the size of a short grain rather than long grain rices like basmati and others. I tend to have long grain rice. I don't know that it's an actual preference. That's an interesting thing. So apparently there's that's a whole like there's different kinds of wheat too, so the distinctions between what is all-purpose flour versus what is baking flour versus etc. Are very different depending on whether you're in a region that uses hard wheat or soft wheat, or other like different kinds of flour grinds. I just stocked up on fresh spice from Zero Waste Store. They're a great place to get spices. Like they're kind of expensive for some things. You know, there are cheaper ways to get rice. There are cheaper ways to get beans. But their spices are it's so nice to be able to just get like a small amount of fresh spice, and they're always so good. Maybe pair short grain with something lower glycemic. Personally, I think whole food is fine. I just short grain is fine to me. To be honest, like I don't really worry about that at all. My diet is not perfect by any means. I do enjoy some rice. It's just I think I tend to get a big bag of rice, and I'll get a different bag. I'll have one or two on the go at any given point. So, you know, sometimes it's basmati, sometimes it's a jasmine rice, sometimes it's whatever. Often I'll have a brown, and then I'll also keep a white around just so I can make something quicker. But I tend to just reach for the long grain rices. I very rarely just have, you know, unless I'm planning on making like, oh, I'm gonna make risotto or something. But as a general rule, just the rice in my cabinet tends to be long grain, and I don't know whether, like, to what degree that's a I don't think I've ever looked into the glycemic index of different rices. It's just not like that's not that's never been the concern. It's just not what I have reached for. I guess it's just either I grew up with or just fell into the habit of buying long grain, and it's occurred to me that, like, yes, I'm aware that there's short grain and that, you know, that's a perfectly fine rice too. I just haven't used it as much. Also, hi Luzini, hi Dan. Don't guzzle potato and pineapple smoothies. Oh, but pineapple smoothies are so good. I mean, I don't know about putting potato in them, but if you make pineapple and mint juice or a smoothie, yeah, oh yeah, that's some good stuff. Pineapple and mint. It's good, I promise you. My Christmas was kind of a mess because my cat was in the veterinary hospital, and we canceled family gatherings due to a new COVID wave. So yeah, Christmas was sort of a bummer. New Year's was better. We went for a nice little family walk out to Waterloo Park with the dog. So that was nice. Potato and pineapple on tomato salad, but I would try it. Just a joke on high glycemic. Yeah, he's fine. He's feeling a lot better, and in fact, he's gotten like a lot friendlier. For the last little while, like he's always been super friendly, but last little while, he's never been super snuggly, but he used to come in at night and snuggle our feet, like sleep on us. And since we got Ember, he wasn't doing that as frequently. But he's back to that, and he's back to visiting Jordan and I in our offices in the studio. He's still a little nervous around Ember. He's like really nice to her, but she's a lot of dog. And she really wants to be his best bud, but again, like her idea of best buds involves licking butts, so. How's she getting on? She's good. She is, I think she just mostly finished up with the treat I gave her. So I made her, let me find it. Where did you put your treat, buddy? Where's your pine cone? Where did you put it? Okay, so I have this toy. This doesn't spill on my Okay, I have this toy. It's like a Kong toy for dogs, only it's a pine cone. And so it's like a Kong on the inside where it's just like there's a hole on the inside. You can fill it with stuff, with treats. But on the outside, it's also got these ridges. And it makes for really, like, it keeps her busy for a really long time. So what I did was I covered the outside, like I slathered the outside of this toy with one section of it was peanut butter, which she loves, but like I couldn't cover the whole thing with peanut butter because that's a lot of peanut butter and she'd get the runs. So then I covered 1/3 of it with goat cheese and 1/3 of it with applesauce. And I threw it into the freezer. There was also some of her food and some freeze-dried meats on the inside, and I sealed that up with peanut butter as well. And I popped it in the freezer briefly. Does she like banana? So one of her favorite treats is like the dry banana. Like you can get like freeze-dried banana chips, unsweetened, and she really likes those. But she's not as much of a fan of, like, she's all right with fresh banana, and frozen banana she really hates for some reason. Now, it might just be a texture thing where, like, it gets slimy and she doesn't like that. I don't know. She's a little weirdo. She does like carrots, yeah. So what we do for her often, like this treat was ridiculous just because she was very awake. She like slept in this morning. She had a really long walk with Jordan yesterday, and then she slept through the morning this morning, so she hasn't had like a big walk at all today. Yeah. Yeah, you. Do you need to go outside? You need to go outside? Does Ember need outside? Or do you just need water? You just need water? What if I just open this? If I open this door, you just go get water? Go. Go on. Go on. No? You just want to participate in a conversation. You actually don't want anything at all. Yeah? Oh, okay. Fine. You need to go outside? Go. Go. No, you just want water. Okay. Yep. She likes carrots. She goes wild for sweet peppers. She likes apples. She likes pears. She likes green beans and peas. Not a fan of any brassicas, as far as I can tell. She's a huge fan of avocado. Huge fan of avocado. She likes fresh strawberries, but not frozen. She does like frozen chicken. What else does Ember like? She'll have like plain, no lactose yogurt. What else does she like? She likes all sorts of things. Oh man, yeah, she's so spoiled. Like, she's ridiculous because we'll make food, and like she doesn't get to eat off our plates. She knows that, so she knows. So like she won't really go for our plates. She'll try to sniff them, but she's like she's pretty easy to dissuade from our plates. But when we make food, she likes hanging out in the kitchen and taste testing. So like if I'm making something that's doggy safe, I'll like give her some in a bowl from the countertop. So she'll like sit there and like, "Oh, are you making things that I can eat?" And it's pretty bad because we'll just like, you know, we're both sucks, so we'll make dinner. We'll make dinner for us, and I'm vegetarian, Jordan's not, so I make 2 dinners. Well, usually it's like they're similar, but his will have meat in it. And then I'll make a 3rd version for Ember, which is, you know, mostly her kibbles with some of the doggy safe human foods. And then when we go out to train her, like she will just eat kibble if it's in a bowl. And I try to make sure that she does just eat kibble some of the time. But I also do training with her pretty constantly because she needs the mental stimulation. And if it's just kibble in there, she'll just spit it out. Like she's not interested in the kibble on its own. It's just like sustenance food. So because I don't want her to just be getting treats all the time, what I do is I take her kibble and I'll mix it. So I'll put her regular kibble. I also get like freeze-dried, like the fancy like high meat kibbles that are smellier. I'll put some of her kibble, some of the fancier kibble. Well, I want to be able to feed her. I don't want her to turn her nose up at regular kibble. So I want to be able to, like, when I just need to feed her, just give her a bowl of kibble and know that she'll eat it. So I'm going to try to make sure that she just gets that sometimes. But for training, then what I make is I call it her trail mix. And I'll do this like once every, I don't know, couple days. I'll make a big batch of it. And then when we go for walks, I take this stuff. So what it is it's like about, I don't know, 60 or 70% her kibble. And then 10% like something, still a kibble, but like something nicer. Like smellier, different. And then I'll just, get like little bits of stuff. So usually something with a little moisture and low calorie. So low calorie for dogs, like keep in mind their needs are different. Fruit and vegetable. So like I'll just go whatever we have in the fridge, carrots, corn, green beans, little bits of apple or pear, sweet potato, whatever. Sometimes there's like, I'll get some like dried fruit bits, and then some freeze-dried meats in there. Freeze-dried or just air-dried meats. And I have a few different varieties of that that are like muscle or organ or whatever. Just to make sure that she gets a variety, because she does then get, like, usually it's the recommendation is no more than 10%, like 90% their food and no more than 10% additives. And she does get, often closer to 20% other stuff. So I try to make the other stuff pretty balanced. So then she gets trained on that, and because it's different every time, and it smells a little stronger because it's got some moisture in it, and because it's got those like nicer kibbles and some meaty stuff, she takes to it better. So she'll seek it out. She'll actually want the treats, which is nice when you're trying to practice focusing around distractions. If you have something that she cares about at least almost as much as the other dog that you're trying to distract her from, at least cares a little bit about it. So my dog is hella spoiled and eats a lot of different things. And then, because I'm vegetarian and Jordan likes meat, and he likes cooking his meat, like he likes playing with the smoker you know, making brisket, making pulled pork. Oh, I'm gonna make a smoked turkey for Thanksgiving. And I don't eat that stuff. He's gotten quite, like, he spoils her too, where he'll adapt his recipes where he's like, oh, I'm making pulled pork, but I want to be able to share it with the dog, so I'm not gonna put garlic or onion. And I'll keep down the salt, and it's cute. Yeah, so both of our pets were on that at one point. Well, sorry, Neuron's diet was always a little bit more controlled because cats have some extra needs. So you cannot give them as many human foods. But for a while, we were feeding him part raw, where we'd get, like, I never trusted myself to, right, yeah. So he was free fed for a long while, and then he got older, and when he was very young and active, he stayed really trim, even though we were free feeding him, because he wasn't that interested in food, and he was super duper active. And sorry, I need to deal with this dog. Ember, do we self-serve our treats? No, we do not self-serve treats. Good, glad we're on the same page. This is a good girl. Yeah. Yes, this is a good girl. Yeah, sorry, so Neuron, for a while, we were free feeding him, and we were giving him a variety of different foods. He always got a base of commercial food, as does Ember, because I don't trust myself to be perfect about balancing her needs. Like, I don't know exactly what her nutritional needs are. There's some complicated stuff about balance of fats and different kinds of protein, and protein versus fat versus calorie intake versus whatever, and different needs that they need. Like, certainly with cats, they need taurine, and it gets cooked out when you cook meat. In the wild, they'd be getting nutrition from a bunch of sources. Dogs actually eat a huge amount of plant matter. Both cats and dogs will eat whole prey with bones and skin and all the organ meat. So it's difficult to just try to balance their diet, so something that comes out of a package is easier and more reliable in some ways, but at the same time, I do have some feelings about, like, surely there are other alternatives than just trusting that, the McNuggets of you know, made by a giant corporation that come in a big bag and are the same every day. Like, really, that's the healthiest thing that you can feed your dog? Like, I don't know that I know what the healthiest thing is, but surely there are options. So with both pets, with Neuron, when he was younger, we would give him a base of a commercial food, and then we would also give him some extra. We'd get like chicken hearts and necks and various meats. He would get some raw food. He would get some other extras, whole fish. Touch. At this point, he's on a prescription diet, so we aren't varying that very much. He's on a prescription diet for his urinary problems. We give him what the vet prescribes, and other than that, he's allowed some broth, because it's basically the big thing is anything that will help him keep hydrated is good. So he is allowed some broth. He also has a hydration supplement, which is non-prescription, but also recommended by the vet. It's in the same line. But he has some treats that are prescribed by the vet. We also do give him some like freeze-dried stuff. Very, very, very little. He's mostly just on the prescription stuff. Ember, on the other hand, I don't know. She's just a puppy, so it might just be her phase of life. She is actually super skinny. And it's something to watch because some very active dogs have trouble keeping on weight. She certainly is not particularly interested in her food and will probably need, and is very active, and will probably need, she's on puppy food right now, plus the absurd quantity of extras. So it's not a concern, but as she gets older, she might need something a little bit more energy dense and protein dense than the regular dog kibble. And we'll talk about that with her vet. She reaches full size. If she stays this skinny. She doesn't look skinny. She looks like a little fluffy ball, but she is tiny. She looks bigger than like a lot of her other dog friends in the neighborhood who are 20, 30 pounds larger than her. She's really, 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 really teeny, under all that fluff. Skinny, skinny, skinny little neck, skinny, skinny, skinny little waist. So she's under 45 pounds right now. So 20 kilos-ish. Yep. Yeah. But she's just a puppy, so it's possible that this is just a growth spurt. We'll have to adjust as she gets older. For now, because she's a puppy, we do pretty much adjust to how much she needs to eat. So she went through a growth spurt really early because she went into heat really early. She went through her puberty already. But she then, by 5 months, she basically stopped growing as much. So she eats about 2/3 as much as she once did. And that's just up to her. Like, we offer her food, and if she doesn't take it, then we put it away. Touch. Sit. It is still within the range. It's always been within the range of what's recommended for her adult size-ish. Always near the top of the range. But then, of course, she is larger than you would expect for her current age, given that she went through Had that really, really, really gross spray. Good girl. Yeah, you're my good girl. You're my good girl. Touch. Hey, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? Oh, you found a seashell. Uh-huh. Ember. Okay, sorry. We are pausing for a doggy distraction. Hey. Touch. Come on. Come. Sit. Yeah. Yeah. We're showing off the doggy. Come here. Come here. Come. Touch. Touch. Yes. Closer. Come. You come closer. Touch. Girl. Sit. Good girl. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I did not mean to flip that around. The top of my head is not that interesting. Back to the doggy. Pepper. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, sorry about that shakiness. Hey, Ember. What are you eating? I'm pretty sure that's not food. Ember, come here. Look. Yeah, let's put this on your little food mat here. Just totally useless because you just spread everything everywhere. Sit. Okay. Are we going to do some training for the camera? Are we going to do a high five? No, that's not a high five. That's your teeth. Yeah, I know you see the teeth. Yes, I left treats there for you. High five. Ember, high five. What is this? High five. Good girl. Good girl. Catch. Good girl. Okay. She's gotten so big. Yes, I mean, she is huge. Yeah, so she is 6 months old. She's about 43, 44 pounds, I would guess. She's super duper fluffy. Oh, you closed the door there? Oh, I see. No, Daddy closed the door there. Okay. I got it.
Holding it.
Yeah, so I am actually, speaking of meal substitute, I have been doing that as well. Not. So my issue is I'm on meds that suppress my appetite. And so I can force myself to eat, but I find, yes, in particular, getting protein, sometimes getting as much protein as I want. So I probably need a little bit more protein then I probably need a little bit more protein than, the recommended for a variety of reasons. And I have found it difficult to force myself to eat high protein foods. They tend to be heavier, they tend to be a little bit more difficult to get down when I am not feeling hungry. So I have been supplementing. I do eat regular meals as well. I have a scheduled reminder, but then I also, once a day or so, I do often end up having like a shake. I'm actually going to go grab one right now. The challenge I've found with protein drinks is that the ones that contain milk are fine. The ones that come powdered, especially the non-milk containing ones, they tend to be very high in artificial sweeteners and they tend to be chalky. And I sometimes tolerate milk better than other times. Ouchie. Ember! Ouchie. Ouchie. So this one does have milk proteins in it. Ember! And you cracked my lid! I had a plexi lid for my watercolor thing that Jordan lovingly made me. And Ember jumped up on the table and knocked it over. Yes, I do. So I have had the Manitoba Harvest stuff, and it is the least gross. The Manitoba Harvest chocolate flavor is the least gross. Powdered vegan supplement that I found. But that's still like a lot of caveats. Now that being said, the other thing that I get from Manitoba Harvest is just their hemp hearts. And so part of my concern too is like every protein source has different balance of stuff in it. And I also depend very heavily on the Manitoba Harvest hemp hearts. Just the straight hemp hearts, not made into a protein powder, just I'd get too hungry on shakes. I tried to do some fast ones. Right, so, I mean, two things. I'm not only drinking shakes, I make food, right? So I eat food. My problem is that I don't have enough of an appetite throughout the day because I'm on appetite suppressants. I'm all for alternatives, but stevia is just terrible. My bitter sensors go crazy. Yeah, I just can't handle stevia. That's really what it comes down to. Or like most of the replacements, this stuff has like, it's got whey, which I don't get along great with. But it does have 30 grams of protein. And only 1 gram of sugar, which means that it's then got a whole bunch of other yucky stuff. But I kind of like the texture, so. One moment, I want to go grab. Ember. There's an eerie quiet when my dog is off committing crimes. I'd get too hungry on shakes. I tried to do some fast ones. Right, so I don't, again, my issue is that I'm not hungry. So when I'm not hungry and I need a huge amount of protein, that combination of things means that I'm better off slamming something gross and getting 30 grams of protein, and then worrying just about calories and other nutrients and stuff. In the evening or early morning, when I do have some hunger cues. Yes, so that's the other thing. It's like overall my calorie intake might actually be low. Now, my thyroid is also failing, which is counteracting my weight loss. Not that I wasn't really trying to lose weight, but I did at one point start losing scary weight, but my thyroid is up and down and failing. So you can make smoothies with white beans to really cram back some energy. Yeah. So a lot of this is also just convenience, right? Like, so my will to put effort into making food is also lower when I'm not interested in food. So I'm getting prepackaged, like, protein and small amount of calories in a Tetra Pak like this because not because I think it's a great option, but because it gets me the protein I need, and that's better than it's a better option than no, right? So yeah. And then yes, the other thing I'll do is I'll do like oatmeal in the morning and I'll throw a whole bunch of hemp hearts on it. And then I'll do pasta in the evening with, other things in it, and I'll throw a bunch of hemp hearts in it. Stir fry hemp hearts. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, some of these are really low. Like, this is like 160 calories. It also tastes like yucky sweetener, so that's often the trade-off. But yeah. Again, I'm really not a nutrition expert, and I know that I'm totally inviting this by making a video of me painting the food guide, and that naturally we start talking about food when in a video about the food guide. But I guess I grew up eating oats for breakfast. I love oats. But basically I will take protein help wherever I can get it. Kind of like when the breastfeeding lady said breast is best, but really fed is best. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I'm at the point now where, like, my top priority is making sure that I'm, like, eating at all, and because, like, seriously, I will forget. And then second to top priority is sorry. So top priority is making sure that I'm eating at all. And then the second priority is recognizing that I seem to function better with like quite a bit of protein, and I think part of that is an absorption issue being vegetarian, and part of that is an ADHD thing, and the fact that right now I'm actually fairly active. So then my second to top priority is, okay, well, within the realm of like I do need to eat, would be best if I ate more protein. And it's not difficult to get your recommended protein intake on a vegetarian diet at all. Like, that's not what I'm claiming. But if you are also appetite suppressed and you need more than the recommended intake, then trying to get 80 or 90 grams of protein into me while appetite suppressed has been tricky. So I have found that it is easier to do that if I have somehow. Okay, what's up? Do you need to go outside? Do you need to go outside? Can you say that more quietly? Please? That's not more quietly. Quiet. Shh. Does Ember want to go outside? Quiet? No? Can we do that quietly? Can we inside? Oh, I know it's desperate, and yesterday I didn't get the notion. I get it. Okay, fine. Ember, sit. Yes, I know. You need to go outside. Sit. Sit. Well, I'll take you outside. Sit. Come on. Sorry. And Ember has reconfigured my already disastrous house to be more disastrous. Come here, Ember. Come on. Come on. What am I going to do with you? Whatever am I going to do with you, buddy? Whatever am I going to do with you? Yeah? Hi. Are we ready to go outside? Okay, sorry guys. You're going to get a black screen for a moment. Yeah, good girl. Okay, you're just getting a pee-pee break this time, okay? You're just getting a pee-pee break. Okay, and then you're going to Hey! Get out of my house. Okay, buddy. Your business. Good girl. Girl. Yep. .5 RDA based on 60 kilograms lean weight. Yeah, I mean I'm sort of similar. slightly smaller than you, but yeah, 80 to 90 grams would be ideal. I prefer... Okay, Ember, are you done? Can we go inside, please? You've done your pee-pee, let's go inside. Okay, and then we are going to, one moment, switch back around to me. Yep. Okay. So you know exactly where I live. Because there's a landmark right across the street. It's fine. You can also Google my address. Things I don't really love, but had to do for tax reasons. Okay, and then we go back upstairs. Come on, Ember, with me. With me, please. With me, please. So our house is kind of a disaster right now. I mean, it's often a disaster, but right now it's a special kind of disaster because our sewer backed up. And now our sewer backed up. So now we need to do a whole bunch of renovations. It's like a nice area. It is. Yep. Local temp -7. Yes, indeed. Which means Ember is delighted. This is perfect weather for her, and I am less delighted. Not sweet grits, since cream of wheat is a better choice. Handfuls of cheese and tons of Cholula and baked crispy top and sides. Ooh, that sounds really nice. That sounds really nice. I should do that. The other thing that I've been meaning to try is do a scramble with chickpea flour. Oh, I really like chickpeas in all their forms. I really like chickpea flour, but I've never done, like, apparently you can do like a similar to scrambled eggs. You can do a scramble with just chickpea flour, and it turns out really nicely, and spice it up nicely. And I've been meaning to do that, and I haven't tried it. Has anyone tried that? I heard about that, and it sounds really neat. I have not gotten around to it. let me plug this in. I only ever got a stuck mess on the skillet. I quite enjoy using a fair bit of oil in my cooking. So that tends to help with stuck messes, but it also helps. So I've got some like really well seasoned cast iron due to not being afraid of using oil on my skillets. Also, I'm vegetarian, but my husband's not. So the skillets do get their top up of, you know, bacon grease every so often. We tried to make that Indian ground flour chickpea flour. I never got it just melted in the oil. Huh. Interesting. So I have made. Okay, so I've made latkes and replaced. So for a while, my mom thought she had celiac. My mother-in-law does have celiac, so I've made latkes with chickpea flour instead of wheat flour. And I find that it binds a lot better than wheat flour, so I'm surprised that the yervada fell apart. I've also made pakora and onion bhaji, and again the chickpea flour tends to grab better in my experience. So I can totally see, for example, how a scramble with it would work. I just haven't tried it yet. Just gonna. Emma, what's that? What's that? When are we? Yeah, I know. You're trying to bark at me quietly. It's very cute. It's very cute what you're doing here. I know. Making barking motions, but no sound comes out. It's very cute. Good girl. Do you want to play? You want to play with this? Oh, okay. Let's play with this. Yes, you're a good girl. Good girl. Good play. Okay, good play. Yes, it would be real nice if you would take a nap, Ember. Yeah? Because now you had your treat and you had your outside. Do you want to go take a nap? Does Ember want to go sleep? Sleep? Nap time? Sleep? Nap time for Ember? No, you never want to go sleep. You're a cranky toddler. There's something called the Greek antibiotic that's basically a garlic spread. My mind is spacing on the name right now, but it's so good on pita. That sounds delicious. I love garlic. I got a Costco sized. Okay, so we get our groceries delivered because we're hermits. So we already got some of our groceries delivered pre-pandemic, but now we get pretty much all of our groceries delivered except for like the occasional trip to the local store. That spread sounds amazing. Hummus is amazing. I really like hummus. Stephen, where do you get your chickpeas? Because I find a lot of chickpeas, if I get them at the store, they're like too dry and they don't cook up right. Like they need to be like dry but not too old. Where do you get your chickpeas that cook up nicely? Because I end up going for canned chickpeas, even though like I certainly am capable of making dry beans, and for other beans I often do. But like so frequently I'll try to get dried chickpeas and then I'll cook them up and they're just like not that great. Hey buddy. Hello? Yeah? Do you want to go to bed? Do you want to go sleep, Ember? Does Ember want to go sleep? Ember sleep? Ember sleep? Go. Go sleep. No, you don't want to sleep? Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. But it sure would be nice if you would sleep, Ember. Sure would be nice. I soak them overnight and pressure cook for 25 minutes. And you found that regularly works for you? Because I find that often when I cook chickpeas from wherever, they come out like kind of dry, like not as, ow, Ember, no, ow, no. I know, you want to play, but biting my foot is not a way to ask for play. Come. Come. Come here. Come in. Come. That sounds delicious and like something I will definitely want to try. Hey, Amber. Are you absurd? Are you so crazy? Is this a crazy baby? Sit. Sit. Yeah, get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You have goofy ears, you know. You have goofy ears. Goofy ears. They're goofy. They're goofy. Here. Get it. Good goofy ears. Good goofy ears. Yeah. Sorry. I'm not getting that much painting done right now because I am wrestling with a dog. But I'm happy to keep chatting if people want to stick around for me wrestling with a dog. She's like probably just about due for a nap, but unfortunately, like other bad habits we've taught this creature. She's learned that she can get away with not sleeping. Unless, like, sometimes I'll go close her into a bedroom with me and then she will follow a sleep command. But if I try to do that right now while I'm on stream, what's gonna happen is she will whine from the bedroom. Don't really want to subject any of us to that, so it's not going to happen. So usually I would go in there and spend some time with her while she's falling asleep. Are those cashews at about 5 p.m. on the plate? No, this is macaroni. This is the grains section. This is macaroni. Cashews do not grow in Canada. We are strictly sticking to things that I can grow in Canada. So that's not durian at 10 p.m.? No. No, it's not durian. Ember, what are we doing? What are we doing, baby? Can you explain to me what the cute little baby is doing? Okay, so I haven't really bought art supplies in about a year. My no buy kind of failed on a whole bunch of other fronts, but I actually did pretty much keep to not buying art supplies for a year. I did just recently, just now, like this year, 2022, buy myself a new sketchbook, which I'm really excited, from a local company, McClellan Books. I've got myself a huge hot press arches hand bound sketchbook, which I'm really, really excited about. And I am looking now at getting a few more things. Oh, actually, I guess I did get that big sorry. I guess I did get the big palette. But this coming year, I still have a huge ton of art supplies. I don't need a huge amount. I am due for a refill of brushes. Some of my brushes are getting a little ragged, so I'm due for some new brushes. Don't really need too many new paints, but or palettes, or really anything. But while I am back in the mode of fixing up and getting a few new things for my studio, I was wondering if anyone had any suggestions of what I should try. What brushes am I going to get? I am going to go to Rosemary Brushes, and I'm going to stock up on some number 3, Series 22 number 3s, number 1s, 0s, some of this line as well, the Sable Blend. I quite like those. Maybe some larger sizes. What else am I getting there? Maybe a few travel brushes. So, big Rosemary & Co. order. Yeah, I'm really excited about the new sketchbook. For very little money, the Cotman Riggers drag it. Yes, I actually really quite like the Cotman brushes as a, there are uses where I actually like synthetics. When I'm trying, I do a thing, and I do it too frequently with my nice brushes. So I will demonstrate with this size 0 series 22 because I've already done it too many times, and it's why my brushes get ruined. And when I'm planning ahead, which is not a thing that I do very frequently, clearly, I switch to synthetic for this, but I will push pigment like into the corners here to like punch in the shadows. And so then I'm pushing on these hairs, and for this, I really do like using synthetics because it'll ruin no matter what brush you use. Like it's not there's no solution here that makes it not ruin brushes. But if you just get a really small synthetic, okay, well, it's only gonna ruin a few bucks of brush versus a much more expensive brush. And cruelty free versus cruelty full. I love my rosemary brushes. I do love me some rosemary brushes. Hi, Val. Ember? No, that's my shoe. Don't eat my shoe. No, 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 no. That's mine. No, do not eat. That's for me. Oh, great. Great, great, great. Now I need to replace my shoelaces. Don't eat my shoes. They're for me. They're not for Ember. Those are not things for Ember. Go get one of your shoes. You have something. Because you're spoiled. You little criminal. You little criminal. Go get one of your shoes. Or better yet, have you considered that maybe it's nap time and you should sleep? Yeah. Does Ember need a nap? Does Ember need a nap time? I think Ember needs a nap time. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I'm pretty hard on my brushes, but they still last a good long while, where they're usable. And then I do try to do most of my painting with the ones that are like a little bit beaten up and save the really nice ones for fine detail work. But that still gives me, they start wearing down after a few years. So like I think it's been 3 years since my last like major brush order. So I could use some refresh brushes. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all gone through the the experience of like getting too precious with our art supplies. So I've yeah, I get sort of in the zone and don't switch my stuff. Don't. Not the richest person in the world, so I tend to treat a lot of my art supplies with extreme care. Well, so I feel like, I don't know, maybe I should make a video about this, but there's a lot of things that there's this whole category of things that I worried about a lot when I started watercolor painting, like not wasting paint and the order to use my brushes in and how to separate my water. And I feel like we all go through this and it gets to a point where it's holding you back from just painting. And that you are in fact then wasting more material because you're not being able to experiment in a way that will allow you to create the work that you want to create. So I've had to, push myself out of being precious about my art materials and just, the truth is, like, you don't need the crazy watercolor collection that I have. You definitely don't. And that's just a waste of money. But in terms of my brushes, it is not a major expense. I paint, well, this past year I haven't painted that much, but over the course of the past 5 or 6 years, I really do paint almost every day. And, every 2 or 3 years I get a batch of a few watercolor brushes from Rosemary, and yes, it does cost $100 or whatever, but then that's it. My bigger brushes, some of them I've had for 6+ years. My smaller brushes I run through a bit faster, but they're cheaper because they're smaller. And that's with me abusing the hell out of my brushes. Like, it's not, yes, you will run down your brushes. That's a real thing. But you'll do that regardless. So, yeah. There are things worth worrying about. Like, not collecting too many paints is a better use of your worrying about money. Like, if money is a concern, then just use the paints you have rather than buying new ones. If money is a concern, then use the paper you have, assuming it's, decent paper, rather than trying a bunch of different papers because paper does go bad. Brushes, yeah. Yeah, you have to use all of it at some point, so you need to, exactly, like, there is a value to, like, understanding that yes, this is a thing that has value, but the value is, there's only a value to your brush if you're using it. So if it's holding you back from using it, or using it in a way that will allow you to do what you want with it, sorry, dog's barking again. Amber, what's up with you? Where's your toy? Come. Come on, touch. Touch. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, do you want to play? You want to play? Okay, I think my dog's a little too loud for me to Ember. Hush. Hush. Hey. Time out. Yeah, Ember. Ember. Time out. You're throwing things down the stairs because you're too much of a problem here. Time out. Sorry. I just had to go put my dog in timeout in the washroom. Yeah, she wants attention. She's a little little Miss Piggy about attention and food and treats and love. So I put her in timeout in the washroom because she's been doing this thing where she wants attention, so she just barks. She doesn't do this outside. Like outside, she's a sweet little angel who doesn't make any noise outside the house, in stores, etc. But in the house, partially because we had a really hard time like house training her to go outside because of a number of factors that are not her fault. For a while, I've been encouraging her to let me know when she needs to go outside using any communication method, so she's gotten to be quite loud inside. And she'll bark like she needs to go outside even when she very clearly doesn't. She just wants attention. It's very difficult being the center of the universe, and attention must be paid. Yes, exactly. That is exactly it. So, I think I am wrapping this up. I feel like I made some progress here. You know, there's like some rice texture going on in the wild rice. There's a tiny bit more peas here. Not that much for an hour and 45 minutes, but you know, dogs and problems. So thanks everyone. I think this is about it for me today, just so that I can go deal with the loud creature. World peas and hominy. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Can you go tell me more about that in Discord? Speaking of which, can somebody throw in a Discord link for me? That would be awesome. Thank you. It was lovely seeing you all and being here. Yes, thank you. And I will be over on Discord now. I'm gonna go take a nap with my dog. Bye. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Nope, let's go. Bye. Okay.